We do represent a lot of capital, U.S. capital, and including our friend here from the Common Fund. And there will be a lot of U.S. capital moving into Africa in the next couple of years. Last month, I had lunch with David Stewart, who's the CIO of the Abu Dhabi Investment Company in Seattle. And they are establishing another fund to invest specifically in Africa, in particular in infrastructure, et cetera. And he gave me this booklet, which kind of mirrors what I'm seeing, which is Into Africa, Institutional Investor Intentions through 2016. And what they do is they went across and they interviewed 158 CIOs around the world, more than half of them in the United States. And at the present time, less than 20% have exposure to Africa. By 2015, 100% said they will have exposure in Africa. Of that 100%, over 50% are from the U.S., and about 48% said they will have it through private equity. And some of that will be coming through, if you will, funds that are structured in the U.S. or Europe for frontier investing, but a lot of it will be direct. And based on my experience on the funds, I've done around 7 private equity funds in Africa, South Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. The problems we've run into is just basically the structure of the investments have not been along the lines that we, as institutional investors in the U.S., are used to. We're used to limited partnerships, limited liability companies. We need to make sure that the tax arrangements in that country and the limited liability structures are there. That's beyond the control of the people in this room. But those of you who are in this room interested in access to our capital, you've just got to be familiar with those types of vehicles and understanding from a U.S. investor perspective, we're really interested in 3 major components. One is transparency, which means getting access to information, reports, et cetera, because we have an obligation to report back to our beneficiaries. 2 is going to be alignment of interest, which is to talk about fees and making sure that the fees, the 220 carry, and making sure other fees that come in are offset against management fees. And the last is going to be governance, which is to say that if things go bad, we have a right to exit or shut down the fund. And so those are really, if you will, in a nutshell, what we look at on our investing. And by the way, it's not just Africa. This is deals we do globally. But from an educational perspective, that's what we'd be targeting.
Doing business in Africa. You can't afford to be without Africa Investor.